Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happens to be the Entrepreneurs Hangout podcast day, one of my favorite days. This is episode 3, season 15, if you can believe it. And I have got really honestly a really special treat for you. This gal will knock your socks off. She is delightful. She is just an absolute gem and such a fun pleasure to be around. Tiffany Ball. Tiffany, say hi to everybody.
Hello, Kylie. I'm super excited to be on today. I'm very appreciative that you have me here, and I'm looking forward to the conversation that we're going to have because I know it's going to be dynamic.
Great stuff. So maybe what we do is we kind of say, hey, how about where we met, which is kind of ironic. We met online. And I think the little bit of that journey is always so fun because it does help people learn like, hey, how to get out of your box, how to all of your online conversations don't end up going wasted. So do you want to start there?
Can you hear me?
I can. And I will tell you, I think Tiffany's experiencing a smidgen of network issues, but so just bear with us. Can you hear me now, Tiffany?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Let's
a very long delay. That's it.
yeah, let's
I
try
think
this.
we can make it work.
Yeah, of course. Women can always make everything work. Um, so I think let me start out like with where a friend of a friend said, you got to hook up with this gal named Tiffany, right? And so I didn't know if we were friends on Facebook or not, but I reached out to you and I said, hey, I would love to be able to get you to know you. And so just I think that is brilliant when people just simply take that effort. I looked at your profile and I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, that 100% I need to meet her.
That's interesting because I didn't know that you were recommended by somebody, a friend of a friend. It was you came up in my DMs one day and you're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
let's connect," which I get connections all the time. And I was like, very interesting. And I know we kept making appointments to meet up, and then somebody had to cancel, this had to cancel. So it's very interesting that we're here now. Just
Yeah.
the effort. We
Yes.
eventually got it done, and here we are.
Yeah. And it was funny because we said, how about coffee? And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like so coffeeed out because of course we all meet at coffee shops and stuff. And so we said, how about a walk in the park? And so we tried that. And then I think I was still having some hip surgery pain. And so that didn't work out. But I came to your a service based only it was a service based specific networking hour. Yes.
Yeah, service industry specific networking. So it's yeah, to get together the same type of people in one room that service the same industry, basically.
It, it is, and it was amazing, and that's where we actually got to meet face to face in person.
It was very interesting, and you have a lot of really good energy. And when you came up, I was like, "Oh, okay, finally in person, finally." She's here. And I know it was a little bit of trip because it was in all the way in glad that we finally got to meet in person and got to connect and have that energy. And you got to share one of my bigger events. So I'm super happy that you decided to come out that day.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So I want to do this. I want to go a little bit back in time, maybe share with my viewers because I always like this entrepreneurial story. Clearly, you have one. So take us back as far as you want to. And how did what were you doing before whatever?
Mhm.
And just a little bit of a journey as to a little bit about, hey, what does Tiffany Ball? Who are you? Where'd you start? And how in the world did you get into the networking business?
I'm going to sum it up as quickly as possible because it is a very long and colorful story. But I come
Good.
from a 20-year career in hospitality. I managed Hilton and Marriott hotels. So if you ever meet me in person, you'll see that's where I get the ability to communicate with people and the kindness that comes from that communication. I did 20 years and I had my son. And when you become a mother, it's a lot harder to be a career person, especially when hospitality demands a lot from you. And so I left my career and dabbled a little bit in coaching. We moved to Virginia from Colorado Springs. Oh, let me see if I'm back. There I am.
You're back.
Dabbled in insurance. I've got a PNC license. I've got a life insurance license. And eventually I started working as an affiliate for my son's father's business. And so that got me to continue to make a business out of it. Because if I'm going to work that hard to do public and throw events and be able to bring together like-minded people that are about service and have a great time doing it, because it's all about fun. So it's fun, public speaking, connection. I'm there. It's all about me.
I love it. I like it. So I know that you've got, obviously, tell us a little bit about your group that you're growing and the purpose of it. And then I kind of want to, I want to ask a few questions.
Sure. So in the grand scheme of going out here and networking, I found that there are different types of networkers, people who go out and connect with people for their business. And I found myself to be the one that goes into the room and asks, how can I be of service? How can I help you? What can I do for you? Who can I connect you with? And I thought to myself, like, I only have an infinite or a finite amount of money. I only have a finite amount of time. So how can I help all these wonderful people that I'm coming in contact with and help them grow their business? Well, by getting all of us together. And so I decided to start Grow Networking, which stands for gaining real opportunities with networking and with a basis of service. That's what it's all about, is that I'm connecting people who have service in mind and who go out here and have the idea and the mindset that the more you give, the more that you get. And so I have a Facebook group, and I also host events, whether it be coffees, happy hours. We have our second one coming up, our third, Jolly Jammies, which is tomorrow, where you can wear your pajamas, which who doesn't want to network in their jammies, you know? So yeah, that is the gist of what the group is.
I love it. And I thought, because I was gonna I will sponsor your next one. I was gonna try to go for the Christmas one for tomorrow, but we are leaving for Rhode Island to go and see your grandson. That's important. So I can't be there, but I'm gonna sponsor the next one. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. And how many people tomorrow are you expecting?
It's always, a gamble with these things. It's very interesting. That is actually where most of my anxiety comes from is it going to be enough or is it going to be too many? And so right now we have about 30 people that have RSVP'd going. And then we have about 55 people who are interested. So collectively together, that's about 80 people. It's a lot. So I honestly think it's usually about 30 to 40 people, which I think is a really good number if you're looking to intentionally connect. And we're doing a theme of, the jammies, but we're doing a white. There we go. Sorry. We're doing a white elephant. That's a little different. So everybody's going to get a gift. It's going to be very intentional. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see if it comes out the way I want it to come out. If not, it's going to be the way that it's supposed to. But I'm really looking forward to everybody that's going to show up. Yeah. So about 40 people. That was a very long answer.
No. It's actually important because I think what happens is we know that there are a lot of network events in the area. And our area, I know yours is
Mhm.
a little further than mine, but still, in the area of, whatever it might be, 20 or 30 miles, whatever it be, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so, Tiffany, I'm going to
A
ask
lot.
you because
Mhm.
I think I know, but what makes you stand out? What makes you successful? And how can people learn from you?
So the reason I started my own is because people were telling me that the events that I had thrown for another networking group, they always felt welcome, and they
Mhm.
felt the warmth in the room when they showed up, and they felt like it was really genuinely connecting. They were really genuinely connecting with other people. And one of the things that I like to do is, because when we go into networking, people do business with people they like.
Yeah.
If I'm coming in there and I've got 30 seconds to a minute to tell you about me and my business, a lot of times people aren't even listening to that. They're like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
trying to think of what it is that I'm going to say about myself. So, what I like to do is, yes, you get to introduce yourself. Yes, you get to say your business, but I like to introduce a question that is more thoughtful and genuine so people can get to know you. Like, what is your why? Why did you
Hmm.
start your business? What is it that you think that you need more in your business? What kind of people do you serve in your business? And that way it opens the questions for later. And you can always be sure that when you come to one of my meetings, you're going to learn something new about somebody that you didn't know. And that's the whole point. So that's the uniqueness that people get, is that authentic, genuine connection versus it always being about business and money and making money. So yeah.
I like that. And I love what you just said, which is people do business with people they like. And I'll add another thing, which is
Exactly.
like and trust, although I suppose
Exactly.
you don't really like somebody you don't trust. So we could wrap it up into the people that you
Yes,
like.
exactly. Exactly. But you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And, it's so nice because you get to support other small businesses, obviously. You probably
Mhm.
have some larger corporate sponsors and stuff like that, but probably most of them are small businesses. And that
Oh,
gets them
yeah.
the exposure. That gets them the exposure that they need.
Right. And that's, it really, I think that sometimes when we start our own business and when we go out in the community, money, we all need to eat. Money
Yep.
becomes a
I love
driver.
it.
And I understand that when the money's not there, why are we doing it? Right? What's the
Right.
reason? And if you don't have something else pushing you, then a lot of times you'll quit. And for
Yep.
me, when you start a business, it's hard. All of us don't know what we're doing. You can read a book, you can take a class, you can get a
Hmm.
mentor, but a lot of it is stumbling through. A lot of it is new and uncomfortable and fearful. And if you have a community of people that are genuinely caring about your journey and
Yes.
giving you advice about how to get over certain things and what they did, and being honest and vulnerable about what it is that they're going through, and that are helping you and shining a light on you and recommending you and giving you referrals.
Yes.
If you have a tight knit community that's doing that, then I just really feel the sky is the limit. And I feel like the foundation of that is service. Like, if you really are about other people and helping other people, then you're my people,
Yeah.
FYI. So,
Yeah. I'm as you've probably figured out, like, even though again, we sort of know each other now for a month or two, um, and even though I think that we had enough friends and stuff that we saw each other's posts and stuff like that, but the thing of it is it's when you are around a community that you feel you can let your guard down,
mhm,
right? That you can actually say, man, you guys, where am I struggling at in this area? Why is this thing not working?
mhm,
Whatever it might be. Hey, I mean, I help a lot of service based businesses in my business in a box business. And they need help. So I do a weekly coaching, but I do it on a group coaching because everybody feeds off of each other and everybody learns. Like if you're struggling with this, Tiffany, certainly you're not the only one. Or if
Right.
I'm struggling with it, I get to hear what, hey, this is how Tiffany fixed it. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's brilliant. Plus, again, the whole referral basis. It's not like I'm going there because that's my referral thing. It's not like that kind of club, whatever. And it's
Right.
it's more of like I want to get to know you, your friends, and why we should be able to do business together. Right.
Exactly. Why I should do business with you. And I
Right.
don't know why I should do business with you if you're telling me that you are good, if you're a plumber and you've been in business for 20 years and you're down on Main Street. Why
Yeah.
should I do business with you? I have to know
Right.
you, and I have to relate. I would love to relate to people who I do business with all the time. But I was telling
Yeah.
somebody this today that most people, consumers, what they do is when they need um, a plumber or they need
Hmm.
someone that they are not, they either Google it or they ask a friend, right? Somebody
100%.
and everybody knows somebody who, oh, I have a guy. And most of
Yeah.
those people are networking. That's how they
Yeah.
have a guy.
That's
That's
right.
how I
And
always
you
have a
and
guy
I know you and I get asked that all the time. I get
all the time.
asked, I would be
Mhm.
shocked if it wasn't at least a handful a week, as in
Yeah.
like the last one. Actually, this is a real life thing. So here's the deal. So think about this, you guys. Tiffany and I only met in person, whatever, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I get somebody yesterday that says, I need a plumber. And I'm like, oh, wait, I know, I met that plumber at your event and I liked him, right? He's a
Yeah.
genuinely a nice guy. So I'm like, Tiffany, what was the plumber at your event? And so, ta-da, I reached out to him, right? So it's this
Hmm.
whole
And
trickle
I
effect
actually
of,
was sitting with him the day before. Hmm.
yeah, it's so funny. It is so funny. And don't we
But
all,
I
don't we
love
all
it.
want that? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We all kind of need it. And I don't think as a consumer,
Mhm.
before I understood networking and the power of it and there are many things you can work through as a human being if you network that have
Yeah,
nothing to do with business, nothing to do with business. And so I'm hugely like I'm starting to gravitate to being a voice for networking for people who don't own businesses,
right.
because
Oh,
we all need consumers in the room, yes, but the connections you make, the opportunities to get over fear, the
mhm,
opportunities to meet people and be in rooms with people that you normally wouldn't, you wouldn't have
mhm.
you wouldn't have necessarily know this person who lives in a different part of town, who has a different background than you. It's just an opportunity to grow yourself as a human being as well. It's not just about business. It's business as a foundation, but it's way more than that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. So, and I just had a complete brain like blow up. I won't put you on the, like, I won't put you out there yet, but I think a fun event for so I do meet on the last Wednesday of every month. I do like to meet in person. Sometimes it's an online event, but I'm thinking, wouldn't it be fun to have you as the guest and we do a speed networking event?
Okay. Is this in person or is
Yes,
it
in person.
interesting? Okay. Okay. I have not been a speed networking person. I've only been to one,
Right.
and it was really uncomfortable. But it was because it was in a room like there were 300 people, and you
Oh, yeah,
can't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that. So
No, no,
smaller,
no, no.
I think it might be able to work. So we can always get together and talk about that.
Yeah,
So
we
I
will.
don't
I
have a
know
problem with
that.
that at all. Mhm.
I know that.
It'll be
And they
fun.
can be a lot of fun. And what it does is I think it gets people out there in one little way. It's a little bit of it's not a big commitment, right? They're like, okay, it actually trains people a little bit more to say, I know I can't sit there and talk to somebody for 10 minutes. I'm shy, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. You don't have to.
Hmm.
All you gotta do is do it for like 30 seconds, you
Right.
know. And then
Right.
that kind of gets you a little more comfortable and you're like, okay, great. I can talk around this and you can really get comfortable with what you're going to say about you in 30 seconds. So
Mm-hmm.
it's quite fun and it takes a little bit of practice, but we'll talk offline about it. That'll be kind of fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, how do you take what you knew and what you learned in the hospitality business, running hotels,
Mm-hmm.
and how did you turn and flip that into, I'm going to make this work in the networking experience that I have going on right now?
That's a really good question. So if you in an interview, right? If I'm ever interviewing for a customer service position, I always used to say that hospitality is guest service, and guest service
Mm.
is different than customer service because you treat somebody that's your guest, somebody that's in your home, differently than you treat a customer. And so it's a level
Mm.
above that. And there are little things that people do that is guest service oriented. It's that you have an expectation of me that's here. So I know what I'm going to do is here. And so I'm constantly doing and providing more than what is expected. Sometimes I'm a little extra, right? But I don't think that's a problem at all.
Nope.
Because it's for me, it's about value. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do with Grow and with these events is even in the community that we have on Facebook is provide the most value that I possibly can. And I don't care if it's inconvenient to me because that's what service is
Yeah.
about doing for others, even if it's not convenient for me, even if it's not something that serves me right off the bat, because in general, it feels good to be kind and do what's right, but it also puts the right energy out and it spreads, it starts a domino effect and other
Yeah.
people start to act and treat people that way as well. So it's the service aspect of it and what you get and the value I feel is more than you're going to get anywhere else.
I love that. I love that, Tiffany. It's almost that idea and that image of, well, how would you treat somebody that you, as a guest in your home, versus
Mm-hmm.
how would you treat somebody that was, trying to take something back at Target or whatever? That's like,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
actually, like the same analogy as like in your business. How would you treat that person if they just simply walked into your business? Yes, you want to have the nice
Mm-hmm.
customer service voice on, but customer service versus that guest service. I love that. I'm going to borrow
Yeah.
it. That's
It's
wonderful.
it's the idea that you're a host versus you're working. People
Yeah.
can tell when you're working, and
Yeah.
people can tell when you're hosting and when you're enjoying what it is that you're doing. And that makes all the difference.
Ah, that is great. I hope you do some lives tomorrow. I know I've got a couple of people I know. My favorite, Miss Rita, is going to be there.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the jammies. That is going to be hilarious.
Yes.
Um, and like I said, count me in for the January sponsor because I think that making sure that I sponsor it I want to get my Wings of Growth, the nonprofit out there. I
Mhm.
think that I can really get out there and work with the community and the businesses. And so just count me in.
Absolutely. Well, I'm holding you to it. I got you recorded.
You
Okay.
got it. You got me
I got you
recorded.
recorded.
That's right.
Yeah, we've got. I'm working with I'm working with an event planner named Sarah. She's absolutely fabulous. Because I'm taking on getting an event every week. That is my goal for
Woo! You.
2025, and it's a big goal. But I like big goals. If they don't scare you, it ain't big enough.
That's
So
right. Go big.
I'm
Go
game.
big or go home, honey.
Exactly.
You got
Exactly.
it. Well, I can't wait to support you, to cheer you on, to be a part of it. And you are a wonderful host. And I just love you to pieces, darling.
I very much appreciate the opportunity. I love doing these things, getting my voice out there, and anytime somebody can be of service to me by inviting me on to podcasts, I'm game. Like I'm all about
Woohoo!
it. So thank you for that.
You got it. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to put some show notes in. We're going to have a recap in tomorrow's socials. And I am so, so glad to have Tiffany Ball Weeb here with me. If you want to be a guest on my podcast, hit me up in the DMs any which way. And guess what? We'll see you next time, same place, same time, the Entrepreneurs Hangout podcast. Bye.